Joining us now is Ben Collins. He's a reporter who covers disinformation, extremism, and the internet for NBC News. Ben, thank you very much for being here. It's nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Your beat is disinformation and extremism online. Is your beat going to get worse or better now?
It depends on what Elon Musk decides to do with this service. Now, he's said a couple of things. He's taken a lot of populist positions on some user features. For example, the edit button, the much fabled edit button that was going to come to Twitter. He says that's going to happen. That could be positive or negative. We don't know what that looks like in practice. But he's also said a lot of things about free speech, and that's great. Free speech is the fundamental principle of this country. But moderation is different than free speech. And moderation is hard. It's extremely hard. In fact, it's an art. It's not a science. It's an unwinnable game. And he just got the worst job in the world. He is now the king of content moderation on the world's fastest moving news platform. If he thought this was going to be fun, I don't know what's going on in his head, because this is just going to be a world of hurt.
I feel like, Ben, one of the things that we've seen when other people have not taken over big media companies, but started their own niche media companies on this issue of free speech and not doing content moderation and it being a wide open Wild West, and that's the point of it, is that pretty quickly we get lots of ISIS beheading videos and, child pornography and, eating disorder dysmorphia photos and other things that in some cases are illegal, and in other cases make the use of the site impossible for normal humans with normal gag reflexes. Is that fair? And B, how does Mr. Musk contend with that? How would a Mr. Musk contend with that kind of previous experience and other people who've taken on the same task?
Yeah, look, that's incredibly fair from both sides of this, from both sides of this of the spectrum here, from the extremist forum side and from the civilian internet side. So on the civilian internet side, you have stuff like TikTok and Twitter and Facebook. And here's a content moderation challenge from TikTok from a few weeks ago. A few weeks ago, a girl on TikTok was trying to make slime, the stuff that like 12-year-olds play with. She was trying to make slime and she made napalm by mistake. Now, is that free speech? Should you leave that up? TikTok took that down. They found it and they were like, this is very dangerous, really bad. You should take this down. You shouldn't be teaching kids how to make napalm. That's an issue. I would bet Elon Musk's Twitter is going to take that down. But I don't know. I'm not really sure here what falls into that space, especially now that he's taking the company private. Oversight for this sort of thing will be very different. And I will say, by the way, Rachel, everybody has a line. 4chan, for example, everyone thinks that 4chan is the worst site on the internet, and it was for a long time. But they had a line. They had a direct line. And that line to them was anime depictions of child pornography. And they started taking that down. This was a few years ago. And that's how we got 8chan. 8chan said, we are going to create a space where literally everything is allowed. If you want to do those animated depictions of child pornography, it's allowed on 8chan. That was their line. And that's, 8chan became a place where people dropped manifestos before they did mass shootings. It's where Q from QAnon came from. It became a full-on extremist website. That's the place without the line. They ended up closing down effectively, and their owner, the guy who started that, had a come to Jesus moment. He changed his mind about the entire idea of this. His name is Fred Brennan, and he is a person who has fought for years now to take down 8chan. So everybody who thinks that they want complete unfettered free speech on the internet, they meet their line eventually.
Ben, one last question for you. In business terms, is there anything that we know about the terms of this deal that would restrict Elon Musk from any particular kinds of changes? Or once he owns it and it's his private entity, can he do literally anything he wants?
We don't fully know that yet, but it is his private entity. There are a lot of people at this company who are afraid. I've talked to people inside the company in the last few days, and they are afraid, not just for their jobs, but for the product they built and, the town square they built. They put a lot of work into this thing, and they are afraid of what's going to happen to a guy who has never done content moderation before taking over this platform.
Ben Collins, reporter covering disinformation, extremism, and the internet for NBC News, just an invaluable resource in our company. Ben, I'm grateful for you. Every single time you post anything or write anything for this company, your reporting is about to get even more important in days ahead. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you, Rachel.